Hi, Justin here from Combative Edge Martial Arts. Just a quick reminder, you can catch the today's episode on YouTube, on Combative Edge on YouTube. So, if you want to see the whole thing, go over there and check us out. Today, on Lead the Minutes, we're going to be talking about the G.A.B.L.E grip of success and failure. Now, just remember, we are doing Lead the Minutes. This is all about leading the minutes in your life. How you use your time effectively. How you use your today, your minutes of today effectively. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet, and yesterday's done. So how do you use your todays effectively? Because your todays will lead you into your tomorrows. Okay? So in order to be a fabulous leader, or you cannot be a fabulous leader until you learn how to lead yourself fabulously. Okay? You cannot be a fabulous leader until you lead yourself fabulously. And that is a fact. So these are things that we want to keep in mind, right? We want to keep in mind. You always want to remember you're leading your minutes. Okay, you don't want your minutes to get away from you. You want to be in front of your minutes. You want to be leading the way, using your time, doing what you want to do, how you want to do it, and getting the most out of your day and the most out of your life. So, like I said before, we're going to be talking about the G.A.B.L.E grip of success and failure today. And if you guys don't know, the G.A.B.L.E grip actually came from Dan G.A.B.L.E, who was a very famous wrestler. And this is the G.A.B.L.E grip. And basically what you do is take your right hand, take your left hand, palm up on your left hand, take your right hand, you put it down, and your fingers go over that thumb. And then your other hand, your fingers come up on the side. So you should see both thumbs. I have one thumb here, I have one thumb there. And that's your G.A.B.L.E grip. Then you can twist it and go to the other side. Not like this. Okay, not like that. Like this. Okay? So, the G.A.B.L.E grip of success and failure is actually something that I came up with. I think is actually really cool. I didn't come up with the G.A.B.L.E grip. This I did not come up with. That came from Dan G.A.B.L.E himself. But the ideology of the G.A.B.L.E grip of success and failure, that whole ideology, it came to me. So using the G.A.B.L.E grip from Dan G.A.B.L.E, okay, I put together success and failure because success and failure really work together. They don't work separately, okay? So let's look at the first letter, because it's going to be a play on words. Again, it's going to play a play on G.A.B.L.E. Okay? So the first one is G, gain a perspective. Let's understand something. Let's pretend that left hand is failure, right hand is success, right? So I like to think of it as my right side, my strong side, my righty, that's my success side, my left side, my weak side. That's my failing side, right? So it's, if you're a lefty, it could be your success side and your fail side, or, up to you. Okay? But for demonstrative purposes. Now, success and failure, right? We're gaining a perspective now. Okay? And the perspective that we have to gain is that success and failure happen as a unit. It doesn't happen here and here. It's not one or the other. It's together all the time. It always happens together, like the yin and the yang, right? It's always together. One flows into the other flows into one, right? So that's the same idea as the G.A.B.L.E grip, okay? So you could think of it as the G.A.B.L.E grip is like the yin and yang of wrestling, okay? See? One flows into the other. If you actually look at it, it actually looks like a yin-yang, yin and the yang, right? You go like that, you can see the circle, almost like a little S going through the center, right? So, in a way, it's like that, all right? So, we want to gain a perspective, okay? And what we have to understand here, guys, is that success and failure work hand in hand. You can't have one and or the other, right? It can't be extremely successful and or complete and utter failure. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. And it's taught that way, which is wrong, okay? Because what people don't realize is that when you gain momentum and you gain success, you're going to trip on your shoelaces. It's just a matter of time. So here's what I want you to think about. Right side for me is my success side. My left side is my fail side, right? So I'm going to put my right side on top. Right now, I'm successful. I'm feeling successful. Right on the bottom is what? It's failure. It's a setback. I'm going to trip on my shoelaces. I'm going to have a setback. So it's always right around the corner. But if I switch it over and my failure, I'm in that failing moment, or I'm in that setback, I fell on my face, I have to dust myself off, right? All of a sudden, poof, I know success is right around the corner, okay? So you're always going to be going back and forth. That's why when you're, if you're in that moment where you're feeling, you're having like a setback, get into the G.A.B.L.E grip and just kind of like play with it, tug it, and feel your bottom hand and know that, you know what? I got to keep pushing through. Success is right there. However, know that when you're on top and you're flying high, know that, oh man, I got to watch. I'm going to trip on my shoelaces. I don't want to get caught, right? I don't want to crash and burn so badly because I'm so high in success that I'm oblivious of me tripping on my shoelaces. So it reminds you what? The setbacks are right nearby, okay? So this is to gain a perspective. Now, we have attitude. That's the A in G.A.B.L.E. We have attitude. Now, attitude, I always talk about it. Attitude's got to be positive. It's got to be positive, okay? So when you have a positive attitude consistently, okay, and then you have a positive attitude when you're in your setbacks, right? And your positive attitude means success, positive attitude and your setbacks, you become level-headed emotionally. Okay, and that's so important because when you're in your moment of high and you got a real success, your emotions will take off and you will be riding higher than a 747 can fly, right? However, if you're not careful and you have a setback and you crash, you will land harder on that setback and you will crash harder because you are coming down from such a high altitude, you're going to drop badly. Okay? So when you're doing this and you're feeling the success, quickly grab into your G.A.B.L.E grip and be like, nah, setback's right around the corner. Or if you have a setback and you know that, just be like, nah, success is right around the corner, I gotta keep going. So it keeps you that positive mindset always. Always keep pushing forward, always stay positive. Okay? Because again, I talk about this all the time. In almost every episode I've talked about attitude. Attitude is probably the common denominator in anything you do. Whether it be martial arts, teaching, being a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, take up badminton and crocheting, your attitude is the deciding factor if you're going to be successful or not. Think about that for a minute. Your attitude is nothing else. So adopt and adapt into a positive mindset. Always. Okay? And what the G.A.B.L.E grip of success and failure is, it's a physical representation of wherever you are in life. If you have a setback, you just know that, hey, I got to stay positive, keep working forward because I know success is right around the corner. Or if you are flying high, you'd be like, ooh, I know I'm going to have a setback soon. I gotta level out emotionally. Right? Level out. So that if you have a setback, it's not taking you by surprise and you can bounce back from it quickly. Okay? There's a lot of people made that mistake. I know I've made that mistake when I first started getting successful. I was riding sky high and then something happened and I crashed. And I'm like, I can't be doing that again. That's not good, right? All right, so now we got the G, we got the A, we got the B. Be humble. I love this one. I love this one because be humble is so important on either side, on success and failure. And you might be like, whoa, Justin, what do you mean be humble? Of course I'm humble. I'm not any good. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised on how many people are not humble when they have a setback, because there's something that gets in the way. And we'll talk about that. Okay? But let's go to the positive first. Okay, we got the positive. All right, now, if you are getting a lot of success and you're striving and you're doing great, one of the best ways to be humble is to what? Put out your hand and help somebody else be successful. Help somebody else out achieve success. Don't hide that. Share it. Let other people experience it. Show them the way if you know the way. All right? Be what? Helpful, right? We talked about that in faith, right? Forward thinking, attitude, take action, help in your strength zone. When you can't see into the future, right? And you're having faith, and you can't see the coming, you're having faith, and let's say you're having a lot of successful moments, and people are coming up to you and saying, hey, how are you doing this? This is your moment to be what? To be humble and help. Be the first one to help someone else. Right? So this will allow you to remain humble, because people enjoy other people's success when what? When they are humble about it and they are there helping you so that you can get it. So it's kind of like a pay it forward. People help me get successful. Now I would like to help you guys get successful. And then one day you'll turn around and help somebody else out. It's how you can stay humble so that you stay level-headed up here and you're not so disconnected from everybody around you. That's what success can do to you. It can disconnect you. And you think you're connecting with people, but you're really not, because you are so far out there. And the other thing is, what will happen, truthfully and honestly, is that when you get more and more successful and you're not humble about it, you will get more and more people hoping that you fail. And when you do fall, they'll be there cheering you on. It's just how people are. So, be helpful. Be humble. Put your hand out and say, let me help you up. Let me help you get you where you need to go. And I'll tell you what, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. All right. So now we're flipping over. We're in that failing moment. We're in that setback, right? We're over here. This is what I was talking about before. You have a lot of setback. How can you stay humble? If a successful person is putting their hand out to help you, and you are not as successful, then what do you got to do? You got to put your pride aside and take his hand and let him help you up. Let him guide you. Let her guide you. Put your pride aside and be humble and accept help. Remember something here. We can only achieve what we really want to achieve in life, or that dream that we have, your why, that purpose, right? That big why, with what? You can't do it by yourself. You need a team. And there'll be times when your team is helping you. So for example, I remember I was my nephew was going through a major surgery, and I remember my brother was distraught. My whole family was distraught. My mom was already out to out there helping him out and everything, and I was talking with my staff members, and they see that I was distraught, and I'm like, I gotta go. And my team looked at me and said, you should go. And then they could see I was kind of like, I was all over the place, and they looked at me and they said, go. We have this. You trained us, you taught us, we know what we're doing. You need to go, and you need to let go, and you need to go and be with your family. I sat back there for a minute. In a way, I was down. I was on my knees, and they were putting their hand out, and they were helping me up and telling me to go. And that's what I did. I left. And I went to go be with my family, go be with my brother while my nephew was going through his major surgery. And I remember, just being appreciative and being thankful that I had a team to help me and to allow me to go and be there with my brother and my family. And you know what? Everything turned out great. My nephew went into the surgery, got out of the surgery. Everything was taken care of. It was clean. He recovered well. This happened obviously a little while ago, but he recovered well. But that was a moment where where they put their hands out to me, and I grabbed their hand, and they pulled me up, and they told me to go, and I did. And you know what? They never dropped the ball. They ran everything the way they were supposed to, the way I trained them. They stepped up. That's why it's always important to be humble. And at times, you know what? You'll learn a lot about people in time of need. I learned a lot about my team. They really came through for me so many times. And all I can do is just say thank you. And I do. I say thank you over and over and over again. And they smile and they say, hey, don't worry about it. They respond the way I do. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Forget about it. And they were there for me. And it's just, when you can get to that point, you're going to realize how lucky you really are. All right. So we understand, be humble. So when you are successful, stick your hand out there, help somebody up, get them successful, show them the way. And then when you are in a setback and you're down on your knees and it's just nothing's working out for you, put your pride aside. Take the hand from somebody else trying to help you up. Because remember, we are strongest when we are together. So be the first one to help, and when you have to, be the first one to take the hand. All right, so now we got L, learn. We got to learn. We got to keep learning. Even when we are super successful, we're going. Keep learning and growing. Keep going. Learn from other people's mistakes so that you can avoid those mistakes. And you know what? When we hit a setback, keep learning and growing. And because when you constantly learn and grow, when you are successful, you want to learn from other people's mistakes. But you want to keep learning and growing. Why? Because that's going to give you the knowledge and the intuition, the wherewithal to navigate when you are in a setback. Learning and growing really is all about giving you the tools so that you can navigate your way through a setback. That's why it's so important to keep learning and growing when you're on top of the world. Because you don't know what. You don't know when you're going to be back down on the bottom. You don't know when you're going to have a setback, right? And you're like, I got to get successful again. You can't be learning and growing when you're in a setback. You got to have been doing that this whole time. So when you hit that setback, you can get out of it as quick as possible. This is what we got to understand. So learn and grow. Always. Learn and grow when you are up top. Keep learning and growing. Keep learning from other people's mistakes. And then that way when you hit a setback, you have knowledge and wherewithal and an intuition, right? All in here to navigate your way out. I can't tell you how many times, especially running a business, there's like when you run a business, you'll get into situations where you have no idea what to do. But if you I kept learning all this time that like my intuition, my gut told me where to go, and I just followed it, and it got me out. It'll get you out too, guarantee it. But you gotta learn every day. Every day. Now some days, every day. All right, and then obviously the last one we have in our cable grip is evaluate. You got to evaluate. You got to evaluate your day. Was it good? Was it bad? What did you learn? Who did you help? Who helped you? Right? What did you learn? What did you learn? Who did you learn from? Who did you help? Who helped you? Evaluate your day. Because when you evaluate your day, it gives you a bullet point, right? Kind of like in your head, like a bullet point of like a summary. And then you could take that summary with you. And where do you go with that summary? You go into tomorrow with that summary of today. And you do that every day. You will watch yourself skyrocket. So these are things that are very, very, very important to understand, okay? So this is the G.A.B.L.E grip. This is the G.A.B.L.E grip of success and failure. Understand that you cannot have one without the other. So who do we got to thank? We got to thank Mr. Dan G.A.B.L.E for developing the G.A.B.L.E grip, because he's the one that came up with this actual grip for wrestling. And then, and I do wrestling all the time, so this is my favorite grip. So you see me doing this all day long, but now when I do this, I actually do this for my G.A.B.L.E grip of success and failure, what I put together, right? Success and failure. So now if you ever see me doing this, look at my hands. If you ever see me with my left hand on top, you know what? You know I'm looking for my success because I'm going through a setback. So I'll do this and I'll be feeling my success. Okay? I'll be like, I know it's right there. I know it's right there. So it's just a reminder because we got to keep our emotions in check. We got to keep our emotions in check, right? Because, when you're in the moment, you don't realize that moment really lasts that long in life, right? That moment's fleeting. That big. But that's why you got to check your hands and be like, it's right there. I just got to plow through this. I'll be out of here in no time. And then when you're feeling the success, you're like, yeah, but it's just a reminder. Just a reminder that what? You got something coming along. A setback is coming along. All right? Justin here from Combative Edge Martial Arts. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys enjoyed our episode of Lead the Minutes. Again, you can find it on YouTube. But if you actually made it this far, then you probably are on YouTube. So, all right. Have yourselves a great time, great day, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.